Iman Gadzhi's made over $100 million selling online courses with his personal brand, and up until recently, no one really knew how. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down his entire funnel from A to Z. But first, who am I to even talk on this topic? Well, I spent the last 1.5 years religiously analyzing the top performing funnels of not only just big creators like Iman, but also a bunch of small creators. And in the past few months, I've implemented my own system called Quantum Scale, which is basically just taking all of the best parts of the top performing funnels and putting them all into one funnel. And I've implemented it for a bunch of coaches, creators, and influencers, and I've been able to generate over $300,000 in revenue for them. So I'd like to say that I'm pretty credible to talk on this topic. So before we get into the system and how he's selling everything, the first fundamental thing, which I feel like we should understand, is what he's even selling, right? So he has a bunch of different companies. Iman does a bunch of different stuff. He probably has around 10 to 15 companies. But his main two revenue drivers are his agency accelerator program, which is basically just a $1,000 one-time payment program which teaches you how you can start your own agency, which Iman just likes to call a cash flow business. And his second main revenue driver is his big day energy drink company. And I'd like to say that in 5 to 10 years, this is easily going to be driving the most revenue out of all of his different companies. So how is he getting all of these sales for all of his different companies, right? Well, he uses a very simple 3-step process, which I guess you could call TGC, right? So first he gets a bunch of people to see his content and to see his products. Then he gets this bunch of people to get interested in all of his products, and then he converts them into paying customers, right? So let's just start with the first part of the process, which is getting traffic. And quite frankly, it's the most important part of the process as well, because if he doesn't get traffic and no one knows what he's selling, then who's meant to buy it? Because they don't even know it exists. So let's start over with TikTok. What he's doing with TikTok is he has two main accounts. He first has his real Iman Gadzhi account, which has 3.1 million followers. And what he's doing there is he's reposting the videos from YouTube onto TikTok. He has a bunch of clippers, he has a team of clippers, and they're basically just reposting it every day a couple of times. And he also has his main Iman Gadzhi unscripted account, which is also reposting videos from his YouTube channel. Except this time, it's not from his main YouTube channel. He's reposting videos from his second YouTube channel, which is his unscripted YouTube channel, which is basically just showing clips of his daily life. And what he also has is a bunch of different people kind of trying to make money off of the TikTok creativity program. And so you'll see a bunch of accounts here that are all under the name Iman Gadzhi, and they're also just clipping clips of him and reposting them onto TikTok with the hope that some of them get viral, right? And what's happening with all of this traffic on TikTok is he's driving it onto YouTube. You can even see it in his bio of his main account on TikTok. It says, "Find me on YouTube." So what he's trying to do is drive everyone to his YouTube channel, which is going to be a lot easier to convert the leads onto, right? And his YouTube channel is also his main traffic source. But I'm just not going to get too deep into the YouTube yet, because I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Now, his second traffic source is X, right? And what he does to drive a bunch of eyeballs on X is he reposts quotes and motivation. And with all of this traffic that you're seeing here, 100,000 views, 70,000 views, 80,000 views, and etc., he's basically averaging around 100,000 views a post. He's driving that traffic onto his big day branding, right? So they see his name, they see his quotes, they see his motivation, they click on his profile, and they find this big day kind of like lifestyle branding, which is kind of just driving eyeballs onto the big day brand, right? And these get a lot less engagement, like as you'll see here, 40,000 views, 40,000 views, 30,000 views, 50,000 views, 60,000 views. It's a lot less, but these eyeballs are a lot more valuable because he's making a lot more money per eyeball because they're seeing the big day branding and they kind of want to associate themselves with that same lifestyle. Right, so his third traffic source is Instagram, and he's actually pretty big on Instagram. So he first has his main account with 1.7 million followers, and what he's doing there is he's basically just reposting, not even reposting, he's just posting a bunch of photos and videos of his daily life. So it's not something that you're going to find on YouTube. he runs and manages the Instagram account himself. And he's basically just posting a bunch of pictures of himself, just kind of showing off his lifestyle. And he also has the same thing going on as he has on TikTok, with a bunch of people just trying to get followers with the Iman Gadzhi branding. And what I've kind of seen as I was going through these accounts is they're not all just small accounts. You'll see here, I found this one account, Iman Gadzhi Reels, with 1 million followers and averaging like 10-20,000 likes a post. So it's absolutely crazy. And there's also a bunch of different accounts with like 1, 2, 3, 400,000 followers. So it's pretty good, I would say, and it's definitely a big driver to traffic. And what he's doing with Instagram, and maybe you've even seen this before yourself, is he's running retargeting ads. So if you're following Iman or you're following one of these repost pages, you may have seen an ad for Iman Gadzhi's Agency Accelerator course. So it's retargeting the people that have seen him. They've seen his lifestyle, they've seen maybe the quotes and motivation that he's giving out, and he's retargeting them with the Agency Accelerator course. And their goal's obviously going to kind of like become like him, or at least make $10,000 a month for their desired outcome. And this is really smart because most of these people, they see him on Instagram already, they kind of know him. Most of the people that follow him, they're coming from YouTube, and Instagram's kind of an app that people are on a lot, they're scrolling a lot. I'd probably say at least like 40 minutes a day. So retargeting ads is definitely a very good play here, and this is also something that I'm doing for most of the clients that I work with. And then obviously he's also driving traffic to the big day branding. So some of his posts on the main Instagram account have the big day in them, and also in his bio he says currently building big day. Now, moving on to his next traffic source, which is just his biggest traffic source. He's been doing it for the longest time, and he has over 5 million, well, he has nearly 5 million followers, or I guess you could say subscribers on YouTube, which in comparison, 5 million subscribers on YouTube, I would say is like 50 million followers on Instagram, because it's a lot easier to nurture these people when they're watching a 10, 20, 30 minute video, and you can really get them to know, like, and trust you a lot better, which is really the key to getting sales, right? So if you're not doing YouTube, you should definitely start on the YouTube. Right, so he's kind of posting 3 different types of content, and I'm just going to break that down real quick. So he has his main kind of content style, which he does the most, and what he's doing with that is he's driving that traffic. All of this traffic, so it's boring, but it'll make even beginners millionaires in 2024. All of these kinds of small videos. In the description, he's going to have this video right here. It's going to link them to this video right here, which is best online businesses to start as a beginner in 2024. And it has 9.1 million views. And in disguise, it's just a sales letter, and it's absolutely crazy. To get 9 million views on a video sales letter is insane, and he's making so much money off of it. But I'm going to get into that a little bit later. I'm going to break it down a little bit further, so don't worry about that. It's not the end here. And then he's also reposting kind of clips from his course, right? And it's kind of just building hype for his Agency Accelerator course. And my guess from this, because I haven't bought his course, but what my guess is that he's doing with his content is he's reposting valuable clips from his course, right? So if they're seeing here, I'm just seeing the first video that's popping up here, the systems and processes you need to run a 7-figure agency. Let's say they click on the video and they implement these systems for themselves, and they found a lot of value in the video, right? If they're seeing this and they're like, if this is what he's giving out for free on his free YouTube channel, what am I going to be getting if I pay money for his $1,000 course, right? Is it going to be a lot better than this? And I guess that's kind of just creating hype for his Agency Accelerator program. And his last kind of traffic source on YouTube, which he's kind of been ramping up a little bit more, he's always doing a little bit more of these, is kind of interview style kind of podcast where he kind of gets maybe someone from his team or his assistant, as you'll see right here, to kind of interview him. And it's less of an interview and it's more really just showing his lifestyle and talking numbers just to get people to kind of want to be a little bit more about like him. And what I've also noticed in a lot of these interviews is that they talk about big day a lot. Yes, I went through these interviews just to give you that information. So they talk about big day a lot, and I think it is definitely a big marketing thing for Big Day, and it's clearly working. Like 800,000 views is pretty solid for YouTube, right? And you'll also always see the Big Day in the middle. So I feel like it's definitely a big marketing play for Big Day. And his last kind of traffic source is podcasts, right? So he has a bunch of podcasts on YouTube of other people interviewing him, and these are just the ones that I found after searching on YouTube for, let's say, like 5 minutes. You can definitely find a bunch more podcasts on YouTube. These are just kind of the ones that I found. And what he's doing with these podcasts is these people, they're interviewing him, and they're like 23 years old, $100 million, all this crazy stuff, right? And these people, they're like, oh, who's this guy? How is he so big? How has he made so much money, right? And they kind of just fall into the cycle again of looking through his Instagram, looking through his YouTube, and it's all just nurturing the people who are watching his content, right? And what ends up happening when they're going through his Instagram, going through his YouTube, going through his TikTok, going through his Twitter, or I guess you could call it X account, right? He's basically using the 7-hour rule. And to put it short, I'm not going to give you like some detailed description of the 7-hour rule, but from my understanding, it's the more content that the viewer watches, the easier they are going to be convert. Let's say you get onto a sales call, right? And the person hasn't seen that much of your content, and they don't really know who you are. You're going to have to tell them who you are, why they should listen to you. Like, you're going to have to give them a lot more of information. But let's say you get onto a sales call with someone. They know who you are. Let's say $20 million, 23. They seen your lifestyle, they want to be like you, and they've already gotten a bunch of free value, let's say from the courses that you've reposted. They're going to be so much easier to convert. And I'm not just saying a little bit easier, that's why things like pre-cool funnels exist. Because it's so much easier to convert someone when they know, like, and trust you. And that's what traffic is basically doing. That's what all of these social media platforms are allowing him to do. They're allowing him to build trust with the audience, to make the audience like him, and to know him a little bit better, right? So now that they know, like, and trust him, right? They've gone through his TikTok. They maybe seen him on TikTok when they were scrolling. They've seen him on Twitter or X when they were scrolling. They maybe follow him on Instagram. They're subscribed to him on YouTube. They keep up with his YouTube content. And when a podcast comes out every few months, they'll watch the podcast, right? Now he wants to make these people actually be interested in his product. They know, like, and trust him now, but he needs to make them interested in his product. So how does he do that? Well, he has two kind of things that he's doing to make people interested in his product. I'll start with the first one real quick, just because it's a lot shorter. In most of his videos, I went through it, and around 65% of the videos that I looked at had this. And it's basically just giving them free value, right? Loom outreach method. There's no denying that it works, and if you do it enough, you'll definitely land your first client, right? And it's just helping them, giving them, I wouldn't even say it's a hard, like, it's a really simple document going through how you can do outreach on Loom, which works, and if you do enough volume of it, you'll land your first client. And to someone who's not really in the agency space, this is pretty much going to blow their mind. Or I wouldn't even say blow their mind, but it's definitely going to make it seem pretty nice what he's offering. So this is definitely the first thing that he's giving, is he's giving them free value, and they also see the agency accelerator branding right here. And the second thing that he's doing, and the biggest thing that he's doing right now, is this video right here. And it's absolutely crazy. So it's a 1-hour video sales letter disguised as a video saying best online businesses to start as a beginner in 2024. And I need you to see this. 9.1 million views. 9.1 million views is crazy. Like, I don't think you even understand how crazy 9.1 million views on a video sales letter is. That's, if you see, you have 9.1 million people watching you yap for 1 hour. After 1 hour, they're going to know, like, and trust you easily. There's no question about it. If you watch someone for an hour, there's no question that you're going to know, like, and trust them at the end, except maybe like 5% of the people won't. And what you're going to see here, and I'm going to get a little bit more deeper into this a little bit later, but basically 50 minutes, or I'd say 90% of the video sales letter it's just him talking about the agency model, right? And at the end, when you've heard so much about the agency model, when you've heard how great it is, it's gonna be, you're gonna want to start your own agency. But I'm gonna get a little bit deeper into this in a second. So the purpose of this video is not just to show the audience all of the available business models. It's to convince the audience that the agency model is the best model you can start, right? So once the audience is convinced that the agency model is the best business model which they can start, then they kind of need a place where they can learn how they can build their own agency, run their own agency, get their first few clients, right? And you guessed it here, Iman has a solution, right? His agency accelerator program. And it's all kind of going into this video. So, like I just mentioned, 90% of the video is just him talking about how great the video is. So let's just break down the video just for you to get an understanding what he's actually talking about for 1 hour long, right? So for the first minute of the video, he's just talking about what he's going to be talking about. Then for the next video, he sets the agenda of the video, the 3 parts of the video, which they can kind of skip to if their attention span just isn't big enough. Then he talks about what money is, which is kind of creating hype for money, which I thought was super funny. But he kind of creates hype for money if you think of it like that. And then the first part of the video, like I said, the first 10% of the video is just talking about products or services, right? So these are kind of the main 2 business models that you'll see on YouTube. Are you going to be doing drop shipping, or are you going to be running an agency, right? So he's basically saying drop shipping or agency. And these really are just the 2 main business models that people are pushing out. Like, if someone was to ask you, what are the main business models that you're seeing on YouTube, or what's the main business model that you'd want to start as a beginner, you'll probably say drop shipping or agency. There's not really that many other big models that people have seen crazy success with over and over again, right? Then he talks about why starting an agency is better. He jumps right into it. There's no chill. 10 minutes into a 60-minute video, he's already talking about why starting an agency is better. Then he talks about the fundamentals of building an agency. He's basically giving you a masterclass. He's giving you the free value of building your own agency, right? So the different angles, the different types of agencies, the big shifts that agencies are experiencing, how to find a niche for your agency, different niches to choose from, how to kind of run your own agency in practice, how to set everything up, how to deliver results for your clients, the key to everything you want in life, running your own agency, right? Having a lean agency, all of these kind of things. Why businesses are willing to pay you money, which is kind of, if someone's not convinced yet that someone's going to pay you $2,000-$3,000 a month for your agency services, he's kind of just telling you, yes, they will. They'll pay you $2,000-$3,000 a month if you can actually deliver results. Then what not to do with your agency, which is basically saying, if you don't buy my course, you're fucked. Then what's not to do with your clients. Then the hard part, which is basically doing it yourself. And then the easy part, which is buying his course. Then he gives you a game plan from $0 to $10,000. And then he basically says, with the call to action, buy my course, link in bio. I'll teach you the whole process. We have the best one-on-one mentors, which, from my assumption, the course is probably not going to be that bad for $1,000. I mean, he has so many people buying it. He probably has such a large payroll, A+ talent, everything. I feel like Agency Accelerator could be a good deal. But I'm not selling you on this. There's definitely a lot of different programs from smaller creators that you're probably going to find more value from, because they're just going to be able to work more one-on-one with you. And just real quick, you're going to need a call to action on every sales letter. So if you're thinking of making your own sales letter, video sales letter, then you're going to need a call to action at the end of it. And if you don't know what a call to action is a marketing term that refers to the next step or the action that the marketer wants the consumers to take, right? So call to actions can be as direct as saying, like, buy now, buy my course now, or it could be softer, like saying, yeah, look at the document that I prepared in the bio. It's going to be giving you more information on how you can land your first client, right? And this call to action is basically going into Iman's course, right? So this is the last step of the program. This is the last step of the process, which is converting the interested leads, right? So before we click onto the link to Iman's course, let's just quickly go over the audience's circumstances at this point, right? So they've just watched through the whole video. They're about to click on that link. What is their circumstances? with Iman right now, right? So they definitely know, like, and trust him. That's for sure. Before you have people click on the link, you want them to know, like, and trust you. That's definitely essential. Now, first of all, they've probably seen him on their For You page or on a retargeting ad. They're curious to kind of see what's inside of his program. They have a connection with him. Maybe they've seen some of his old videos. Of course, something that definitely helps with sales is that he's been documenting his whole journey since 6 years or maybe even more. And you can really go back on his videos to see when he wasn't in the same situation that he is now. And then they also trust Iman because they've seen so much of his content already, and they've gotten so much free value from the Loom document that we've also just looked at, and the video sales letter. Then they've probably seen a bunch of other people that are in their situation on the website, or when they click on the website, and then going to their dream outcome, which is 10K a month, right? So right now they're broke, they don't have any friends, whatever, and then the dream outcome, which is $10,000 a month. And then they probably have the time and money for the program, right? If they don't have the time, then they probably have 10 hours of screen time. And if they don't have the money, I mean, I feel like most of the people watching his videos are under 20 years old. So they can easily get a job, right? They definitely have enough time. And making $1,000 isn't that hard. I mean, worst case scenario, you'll rack it up in like 2-3 months, right? So now they're clicking on the link to the website, right? They're on the website now. And it's another video sales letter on the website, but don't worry, you don't have another hour to go. It's only 4.5 minutes, so chances are they're probably going to watch it. Now, let's just quickly go over what's going on in this VSL again. So, for the first minute, it's basically at his house. They're showing off his lifestyle. It's a drone flying through his house, right? And it looks pretty cool. It's a big house. It's pretty cool. Then, from minute basically 1 to for the next 20 seconds, it's him taking out his phone, right? So, let's say I have my phone, bam. Right? The angle kind of changes, and he's basically hitting up a bunch of his friends, right? And then the angle changes to his friends, right? All of these friends, they're jumping in their Lambos, whatever, with some pretty cool music, and they're all driving over to his house, like broom, 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 and then like you'll see the drone filming the Lambo, right? And then at the dinner table, Iman basically has summoned all of these guys. It's like the Avengers. And he's basically saying, like, he's announcing this big project, right, to all of his people. And he's basically calling out all of these people. He's introducing them as the guys who are going to be leading the course, right? David, you're the best at sales. This is why it's essential. Or I don't know. Max, you're the best at email marketing. And then, I don't know. William, you're the best at creating appointment setting SOPs. I mean, it really, he basically calls out like 6-7 guys that already kind of have an audience. So this is definitely a printer, because he has these other guys also marketing the Agency Accelerator course. He's definitely printing from this course, right? And then at the end of the video, he's sliding a brochure across the table, which is basically just saying, it says Agency Accelerator on the brochure. And then he says, this is the easiest way to get to 10K a month. And then the angle changes and you see the brochure and it says Agency Accelerator on it. At this point, I'm sold, right? Take my money. You know what I'm saying? And then the rest of the page is basically just a sales letter. So I'm going to break that down real quick because most of the people that are buying this are probably going to go through that, right? So first he goes through why having a cash flow business is the way to go, right? Why should they actually follow the same model that he's kind of teaching here? Then what you're going to get inside of the course, it's not just these 3 things, it's just a screenshot, but there's a lot more to it. Then what you're going to get when you join today, which not that many people are doing, so I think this is a pretty smart idea. And then they have the discounted rate, so originally $2,000, $1,000, everybody and their mom is doing this. Then they have a book on one-on-one call with probably a sales representative in case they have any extra questions, have any extra concerns. If you're a smaller creator, you don't want to do this. You don't want to have the buy now button. And if they have any extra questions, you just want to book them onto a sales call and sell them on the sales call. This is obviously just here because of the amount of views and volume they're kind of doing. Then how this is kind of their all-in-one solution. Then at the end of the page, he's spamming case studies, which everyone should do. If you have case studies, put every single case study you have onto the page. I don't care if it makes a page 50% bigger. Spamming case studies is definitely a smart thing to do. And at the end, if they have any extra questions, he's kind of just answering the most popular question. Now there's something absolutely crazy. So he didn't build this funnel himself, and he doesn't manage it himself either, right? He has an entire team who build and operate the backend system while he can focus on making content, which, like we looked at in the very beginning of the video, is the most important part of this whole entire funnel, right? So he's pretty much done this so that he can relax all day, do what he likes doing most, right? That could be hanging out with friends, pursuing his hobbies, and etc. And at the same time, making a bunch of money, right? He's hired someone to build the whole entire thing for him. Someone who's actually coming up with a funnel, making the landing page, managing the team, making the school communities, and maybe even creating all the stories on his Instagram to convert the people into paying customers, right? And even if Iman would be focusing on building the backend infrastructures, that would totally ruin the business, right? It would kill the business, because then he wouldn't have enough time to create content, drive the traffic. I just mentioned that's the whole entire reason why this whole funnel works. And if he would be focusing on the backend infrastructures, then the content wouldn't be done correctly, and it would really be killing sales. And as of right now, this is what every content creator is doing, because it's what clearly works, and it's the most profitable way to do it. They take a scalable product like this, make sure that it's what their audience wants, and then they promote it to their audience. And that's also how Iman made $24 million last year, only with his personal brand. So with that being said, if you're a coach, influencer, creator, or anyone who just gets attention on the internet, and it doesn't have to be someone who gets a bunch of attention on the internet. I've helped guys with 20,000 followers scale to $50,000 to $100,000. So really any audience works, it just really depends on how niched you are, right? So if you maybe want help implementing a coaching offer, or you already have a coaching offer, but you just want to scale it to the moon like Iman, then hit me up. I'm going to have my Instagram account link in the description. You can just DM me. We can have a chill conversation. It's not going to be like some Jordan Belfort high pressure sales tactics. It's going to be completely normal. You're just going to tell me your situation, and if I think I can help you, I'll let you know and we can hop onto a call. And if you found this video valuable, then I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe, because it's going to help me make more videos like this.